Elegance. Feminine name. Quality characterized by a gracefulness made of harmony, lightness, and ease of movement. Juan Roman Riquelme has made a name for himself in the demanding world of Argentinian football with his hooks and accurate passes. In his uneven career, despite his distinctive style and extraordinary talent, his unconditional love and boundless loyalty to his club Boca Juniors made him a god in Buenos Aires among Zenici's fans. Propelled to be the greatest player in the history of the club in the hearts of the fans ahead of a certain Diego Armando Maradona, he represents the end of an era in football. Focused on a love story like few others, the legend of the Ultimo Diez Riquelme and his passionate relationship with Boca Juniors. Subscribe to Megafoot, the best of football in video. After growing up in the provinces of Buenos Aires, Riquelme began his training as a top-level player at Argentinos. He made a name for himself at youth level and was part of a golden generation at the Paternal. From the outset, his atypical physique was divisive. Fearing that he was too frail and too slow for the pace of high-intensity games, managers struggled to give him a place in the youth ranks. His vision and the ability to set the pace of games gave the teenager credit in the eyes of his coaches. With an astonishing maturity, he brought the generation to the top of the international trophies in the youth category, and is the king of the midfield, facing European clubs such as AS Roma or Borussia Dortmund. At 17 and with his 5 on his back, he joined the club's reserves full of ambition, far from suspecting that his professional destiny would be written elsewhere than at the club of his beginnings. In 1996, Boca Juniors, coached by Carlos Bilardo, was going through a major sporting crisis and was looking to rebuild its youth team. The coach, who lived in the Paternal neighborhood, set his sights on Argentino's youth team. For a fee of $800,000 at the time, the Zeneices picked up a team full of talent, including Fabricio Colcini, Pablo Islas, Cesar Lapaglia, Carlos Marinelli, and the frail Juan Roman Riquelme. Convinced that he was going to strengthen the reserve team, the man who would become the ultimate Diaz was approached by Carlos Bilardo to join the national team. He was willing to do anything to play and told the coach, who was anxious to give him the right position, that he could play anywhere except in goal or defense. Riquelme was about to become part of the attacking machinery of a soon-to-be legendary team. Everything accelerated for Riquelme, who wore the yellow and blue shirt for the first time on the 10th of November 1996. 2 weeks later, he scored his first goal for Boca against Rosario Central, placed at the heart of an ever-changing attacking lineup with Guillermo Barros Schelotto, Martin Palermo, Diego Latour, and of course, Diego Maradona around him. Riquelme continues to grow in stature, with fans seduced by his elegant and effective moves to eliminate opponents. In 1997, La Boca continued to struggle offensively. Maradona, at the end of his career, was struggling to take the team to the top. Under Hector Vieira, Riquelme suffered, exiled to the left flank in the shadow of the god Maradona. But on the 25th of October 1997, at the Monumental, in the home of rivals River, the Boca players, trailing 1-0 at halftime, had to reverse the trend. Maradona's gesture was significant as he asked to be taken off under pressure from his teammates. To replace him, Hector Vieira chose the slender young number 20, Juan Roman Riquelme. The transfer of power was complete. Riquelme transcends the team in a successful second half and walked all over the River's midfield. A few days later, Maradona called time on his career and left the Diez's place vacant for anyone who had the talent. Riquelme is not a physical monster, but the number 10 will fit him like a glove. In '98, under the guidance of Carlos Bianchi, who had just arrived at the club, Boca regained its allure and once again rose to the top of the Argentine game. Riquelme, like a cymbal, dictated the rhythm of the ball with his perfect ball retention, his murderous passes, and his uninhibited tricks. To further shape his destiny, Riquelme refused to move to Europe in his second season, despite a huge offer from Parma in Italy. He wants to make history at his club, and it won't take him long to do so. The following season was the most successful ever for the Argentinian club, winning the Apertura and the Clausura in 1998 and 99. Riquelme led Boca to the Copa Libertadores title after a 22-year drought, defeating arch-rivals River Plate in the quarterfinals. After an opening defeat in the first leg, Riquelme stepped up in the second leg at a Bombonero that was in a state of trance, with an assist, a goal, and above all, a marvelous nutmeg on Mario Yepes. This image will remain the symbol of an extraordinary ass feat, in the pure traditions of the number 10. The Zeneices, who are on course for the title, have booked their place in the Intercontinental Cup in Japan against Real Madrid. Once again, Riquelme took advantage of the opportunity to write his legend, giving a football lesson to Vincent Del Bosque's 11 and his Figo, Guti and Raul, a 2-1 victory. After 22 years, Boca Juniors returned to the limelight of international football, carried by their frail number 10, and even allowed themselves the luxury of retaining their Copa Libertadores title a year later. To conclude 4 years of sensational blossoming, Riquelme could do nothing about Boca's defeat in the 2001 Intercontinental Cup final against Bayern. This painful failure sounded like the end of a first cycle in the prodigy's career. Riquelme's style fascinates. An outstanding ball handler, he is a creator, a writer of football in his rhythm. In the words of George Valdano, if you have to get from point A to point B, you always take the highway to get there as quickly as possible. Not Riquelme. He will choose the winding mountain road that takes 6 hours but fills your eyes with images of wonderful landscapes. Riquelme's career fits this amazing metaphor. Indeed, Riquelme's road will not be a classic ascent of a South American player exiled to conquer Europe. No. For Riquelme, there will only be successive stages on a circular highway leading from the Bombonero to the Bombonero. After a move to Barcelona and a failed spell under Louis van Gaal, Riquelme returned to Villarreal for 3 full seasons. However, after a Champions League semi-final against Arsenal and a missed penalty in the dying moments, hopes of Riquelme becoming a European legend were extinguished. His place seemed to be nowhere else but in Buenos Aires and on the Argentinian grasslands. He returned to Boca in 2007 on a short loan. Mauricio Mastri's bold bet to bring the legend back to Boca was a success. Back in the Libertadores, 6 years after Boca's last continental title, Riquelme became the catalyst for a team that was on the rise. With a direct corner kick in the round of 16, a mythical slalom in the quarterfinals, a free kick into the top corner in the semi-finals, and 3 goals in the 2-legged finals, Riquelme put the Libertadores in Boca Juniors' trophy cabinet for the 3rd and final time in his career. He cut the cord with Europe for good, in return for a check for $13 million from Villarreal. Still the most expensive purchase in the history of the Argentine league. Like a final thumbing of the nose at the world of football, Boca buys back its jewel from a Europe unable to appreciate its true value. In 2008, the fans named him the greatest player in the club's history, an astonishing achievement for the man who was struggling to shine alongside the idol Maradona at the time. All legends have their dark side to reinforce the light. Outside of Buenos Aires, Juan Roman has never really been able to be Riquelme. In the national team, successfully shunned by Bielsa, then replaced for no reason in the quarter-final of the 2010 World Cup before being snubbed by a resentful Maradona, he could only offer the Albiceleste an Olympic gold medal in 2008. After a painful European experience, Riquelme ended his career as he had begun it. He came full circle in the 2nd division with the Argentinos after 2 more league titles with Boca in 2008 and 2011, bringing his total number of trophies to 9 in 388 games for the Zeneices, with 92 goals and 140 assists. The mark he will leave on the history of football is singular. A champion faithful to his colours, in love with the game and nothing but the game, capable of compensating for his physical weaknesses by a perpetual control of the ball. When he hung up his cleats in 2014, it was not just a talent that was leaving, it was a whole history of football that seemed to be disappearing and evaporating in a smoke that left us nostalgic for the romantic football and the number 10s of yesteryear. He is now part of the legend, the last of the line of the whimsical creators, El Ultimo Diez. Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, don't hesitate to talk about our channel around you, to like it and to share it. I'll see you soon for a new video. Ciao!